Hiya guys, and welcome back to Ades Workshop, and this is going to be part 5 of the ball turning tool. Okay, we have here a bit of my recycling again. Yes, I've been raiding the kitchen, but no, I'm recycling stuff that's being thrown out. Now this was an old, I think it was like a pot stand for putting hot plates on or hot pots on, that sort of thing. It wasn't a chopping board, but it's like a chopping board, but it's got a routed lip all the way around the outside. So rather than get it into the bin, I thought I'll screw a bit of inch square batten to the underside. It can be held in my vise, and it makes a handy little work table right next to the lathe, so that I'm not putting stuff on the headstock all the time. So anyway, doing my bit for the environment, I think you call it. Recycling, or upcycling, I think it's called. Hey, I'm always one, I hate throwing anything out. If I can find a use for it, I'll find a use for it. Hence why my shed's so cluttered, perhaps. Anyway, let's get back on with the ball turning tool. So I've just done the first two flats in here. I decided on a centre hole. I've set it up in the usual way, as you've seen me do before. I centre drilled the centre one because there's no sort of angle on it, so I've just centre drilled it deep enough to take somewhere around here, help the 5mm drill, the tapping drill for M6 anyway. I've gone across, I've got it's actually a 532 slot cutter in here, and I decided 15 centres either way. So I've just done the flat on the back one, which I thought you wouldn't be able to see anyway because it's around the corner. So I'll go 15mm the other way on my DRO from centre. Let me just come away from the cutter, I don't know why I came in that close. 14.7. There, 15mm. Just nip that up. And let me just bring you in on that, see if I can give you a better shot of that. So yeah, because I'm drilling onto an angled face, as it were, I'm using a small slot cutter. It's a bit bigger than the pilot on the centre drill. As you can see, I'm spot facing a little flat on there. Just until it cleans up all over. There we are, that should do it. I don't know how close I can bring you in on there, but as you can see, the centre drill has now got somewhere flat to start on, because they will try and push off line, and you don't want to go snapping the end of a centre drill. Once the centre drill started and got its pilot in, it will, it'll hold centre. So I'm going to centre drill the 3 of these and drill them all out. 5mm for the M6. Don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, the centre drill has now got a flat area to start its drilling. Still running a bit fast there. And because there will be a bit of side load, I've got the centre drill in the collet rather than in a drill in the ER32, and I'll just gently bring this in until I got an area big enough for the 5mm drill to sit with both flutes in the countersink. Okay, so I've drilled the other 2, and as you can see, because I've got that countersink in there with the centre drill, the drill now picks up straight into the little taper, and I can drill straight through. I've got a high-speed steel drill here, 5mm diameter. I'm running at 1200 RPM. So I've just swapped to a 6mm drill. I'm just giving myself a 0 there. I'm going to wind back to the centre one and drill out the centre one 6mm to the depth of the root of that one, so I know I've only got a shorter area to tap. And again, I'll tap it in situ. The spanner on the on the drawbar. I'm not going to tap it full depth like this. You can't really get a feel for it like you can with a tap wrench. Yep, just finishing off with a hand tap. Wasn't brave enough to put it all the way through. You don't really get a feel when you're tapping in, especially with a smaller tap. Don't really get a feel for the load you've got on it, and one didn't want to break a tap at this stage. I got a bit of cutting compound on there. Anyway, so moving on from here, I think we'll make the handle, shall we? Yeah, why not? We maybe assemble it as far as we've got so far, because you know, it can be taken back apart again. So we'll do a dry assembly perhaps, and we'll decide on a length for a handle. So it's going to sit, you know, when I'm machining the end of the ball, the slot, when the tool is facing this way in the center of it, that slot will always be the center line, as it were, of the lathe. So I'm just sort of trying to gauge it, but so as I machine round, that would be at the 90-degree mark. If, you know, imagine the tool is offset, and somewhere around here would be in behind the ball, machining the back edge of the ball. That feels about right. What have I got there? 100 mil. I'd say there somewhere. I'm thinking 80 mil of parallel, obviously with the thread on either end, but 80 mil of parallel, so it'll have the ball on the end, which will bring it out to around, say it was a 20 mil ball. Say I made a ball out of this piece of 3/4 brass, go on the end of it. That's going to bring me on sort of 20 mil. So if I went 80 mil of parallel, that's going to give me my 100 overall to the end of the ball, near as it comes. Well, actually, it'll give me, with a 10 mil thread going in, yeah, it should give me about 100 mil. So if I say 10 mil of thread at either end, if I cut my bar at 100 and then machine down and put 10 mil of M8 on either end, I think we're at a point where we can do something. So moving on, let's get and turn this handle. So we'll just face the end off, give myself a 0, touch off, and we want to cut the shoulder back at 8 diameter, 10 mil back. There we go. So that's 0.75 off the side now. Another little measure. Where are you? Okay, let's have a look. I think we'll take 0.5 off it. Another 0.25 aside. We'll finish at about 7.9 OD. Just to be kind to the die. Up to my 10 mil. Let's just check that OD. 7.92. Yeah, that's okay. Right, I'm going to dig in at the root with a bit of an undercut, maybe half mil a side deep. Maybe a little more. Half mil a side deep. I think we'll put a nice chamfer on the end to make it easy for the dye again. Swing him round a bit. Lead in for the dye. So let's have that tool out of the way. So we'll get the correct dye up in the tailstock dye holder. So I can use my winding handle this time. I've hit the emergency stop. I put a bit of cutting compound on and just give the dye a bit of a push to get it started. And that's up to the shoulder. Now I didn't put a very wide undercut in here, so what you find, I don't know whether I can bring you in on this, ooh, I won't go any much further than that, is that the last sort of thread or two doesn't cut properly. What you find is on the dies that, oh, let's bring him out, the side with the writing on, let's bring you in shot, the side with the writing on has got a bit of a lead in, and that's why when I went up to the shoulder it didn't cut all the way. So if I turn that die around the other way now in the die holder, there's much less of a lead in on the back side. So if I turn that around in there and then run it down again, it'll cut the last couple of threads. So final little job, just put a nice break edge on there. You don't want a sharp bit. Okay. So, off camera, I actually did the other end. So you didn't want to see the same operation twice, but yeah, I've got, let's have that chuck out of there. I've got a few little marks on here where it slipped when I was doing it, running the dye down the first time, but it's purely shine marks. Oop. And I've now got 80mm with 10mm thread on either end. So I think what I'm going to do is something similar. Can you see what I've got here? Series of grooves up the handle on my quick change tool post. I think I'm going to do something like that because I quite like the look of that. So I'm going to do that again. Just done a quick measure of the existing handle, and I did every 5mm. I'm just going to line up on that end, give myself a 0. I think I'll start about 15 back. That would be there. And then every 5mm. So 15, 20. 25. 30. You get the picture. Okay. Just polish over the top of those. So if I flick it round the other way now. Somewhere around there. Pick up my last one, which was there. Give myself a 0 again. And come every 5 the other way. And there we are. A series of small grooves along the handle. It's a visual thing, but yeah, okay. It's one of those things when, if something looks nice, chances are it is nice. So a couple of little tidying up jobs. On the underside of the bearing, we've got the little keep plate and the bolt that holds the top half into the bearing. I've got clearance for the washer, but I haven't got any clearance for the head of the bolt. I suppose ideal world I could have put a countersink bolt in there, but I haven't got any. So what I'm going to do is just put the washer in there. I don't want to go drilling down through there because my bearing's there and I don't want to get swarf. Anyway, yeah. I've got a little transfer punch down through the hole and just transfer a little centre punch, wonderful, right in the middle of there. So I'll take the bearing off there now and put a clearance hole in the bottom. Yeah, I'll go right through. There's no reason why I shouldn't go right through. So I'll take it off and drill a hole through there. So usual story for me. Countersink, put a centre drilled hole in first. And as per normal, deburr the hole with a countersink bit. As you can see, that previous hole broke through into my clearance hole for the lead nut on the carriage. But yeah, I can still deburr it. I'm just turning a piece of brass down. I face the end off. And I'm turning it down over a length of about 15mm. Down to about 4.9, something like that. I would have thought will fit through that M6. 5.15. Okay. So if I take 0.1 aside, maybe a little more, we'll try that in the hole. Hand feed again. And I'm running at 1100 RPM. Okay. So let's just try it in one of those M6 tapped holes. Yep. Oh, gently, that fits. Okay, so I think what we'll do is just round the end slightly. A nice radius on the leading edge of that. Yeah. And I think we need to part off about 4mm in length. So I've set the parting tool up 4mm back. I've set it on a slight angle. Only, you know, tiny bit. Because any part that's left I want to be on the bar stock here, not on my part, because these are going to be quite tricky to hold to take any pip off, as it were. I'll just break the back edge as well before I finally chop it off. And it doesn't like that slight angle, but I think we'll be okay. And so-and-so's law, it did stay on there. We can remove that bit, no problem. So I can very carefully hold these in the 3-jaw and just space off that pip. A little bit more. It's a tiny little thing. I can't even... don't drop it. I'll see if I can bring you in a bit closer. I'll see how good I can get the focus on this. I think I'm about as close as I can get. Ah, don't drop it. This is 5mm diameter and 4mm long. Let's see how close we can get. Come on, hold your focus. No. About there. So yeah, just how thin a diameter I can turn. I reckon that's about 20-30 thou, that diameter there. Let's see if I can go a bit smaller. I don't know how well you can see this. I reckon I've turned the diameter on the end of there about 10 thou. Right, let's get rid of that. Enough silliness. We leave that to the watchmakers. Yes. You know who you are. I haven't got a levin lathe. Okay, so these are the 3 little slugs that are going to go behind the grub screws. I can't even get them in this shot. 3 little slugs that are going to go behind the grub screws to stop marking the moving tool holder. Right, so they fit in there nicely, and as you can see, that's the 3 of them in their home where they're going to live. If I spin it round, you'll see the centre grub screw. I don't know whether you can pick that up. The centre grub screw is fine because it's a much thicker wall, but the 2 outer ones at that point with the grub screws I've got are just sticking proud. So for the 2 outer grub screws, I'm going to machine, let's say, yeah, probably machine about 4mm off them. I've got my ER32 chuck up. You'll see, hang on, sorry, moving the camera. The grub screws that I've got are the flat-ended type. I think when you're using them for like adjustment screws, that sort of thing, I prefer the flat-ended type because they don't mark anything. Obviously, you know, the ones with the little teeth or the cups on the end are great if you want to lock something, you know, for good that's not going to be adjusted. But yeah, I like these ones with a flat end on them. So just do up my chuck. In fact, I can. I don't need to have it stupidly tight, so I want the monster spar out. And I want to face 4mm off the end of it. I should have enough there. So yeah, here's a touch, give myself a 0. They're tough old things, grub screws, but yeah, I've been machining them for years. Oops, could have gone a bit deeper there. That's 2mm. Not going mad at it, I don't want to ruin my tip. That's 3. And 4mm. Okay, just put chamfer a bit up. I'm going to have to use the back corner of my chamfering tool here. Put the lead in back on the thread, and there we go, 2 grub screws shortened. Well, I think that's about it for this episode, guys. It's always very difficult for me to judge how much footage makes like a 20-minute video. I mean, I try and keep 20 to 30 minutes, and it's very difficult to judge. Sometimes I'll sort of have too much footage and have to save some bits or leave some bits out, and I hate doing that. But yeah, I'd say this is the sort of one of the shorter ones anyway. But as you can see, it's coming along quite nicely now. We're getting there with it. I'm still thinking, yeah, sort of toying with the idea of an adjustment for it. I haven't designed the tool holder yet, but I've got a good idea where I'm going to go with it. But anyway, that'll all be for part 6. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, all of you. I mean, we've passed the 2,000 mark. That's absolutely fabulous. And we'll see you all soon.